Donc lorsque je flingue, c'est toute ma putain de nation qui flingue avec toi. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Welcome back, everyone. This is Put with 3 rounds. 3 rounds live, number 206. We're going to go with a guest today. We're all the way from Virginia, but we're not going to go to Virginia. He's actually getting ready in Colorado Springs. So we're going to get into all that, but let's go ahead and bring out our guest today. Hey, Chan, how we doing?
How y'all doing, man? I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us here for a little bit. I know you're busy. You
Yes,
got
sir.
out. You're in Colorado. You're getting ready for a big tournament at the end of the month. So we're gonna go ahead, and talk about that in a little bit. But go ahead and say your name, city and state, and the name of the gym that you train at.
Uh, my name Kelvin Watts. You call me Kel though. I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, and I train in DB3 boxing gym.
DB3 boxing, yes, definitely. And there was a big announcement last month as well. So, but the first thing I'd like to ask everybody is, how do you get involved? How do you get started with boxing?
I had just really stopped playing football, so I just wanted to keep being athletic and being, I wanted to like be the one of the biggest in the world. So I wanted to keep my athleticism going, and I feel like I could do it at a high level. So I just went and did it, and here I am now.
There you go. No, it's really been uh, an accelerated journey, right? I think how many bouts do you have so far?
14.
14 bouts. You're already sitting where a lot of boxers that start this sport very young, at 8 years old at the Pee Wee level, they always want to see themselves at the OTC, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Getting ready to represent Team USA. But you got that, when you made that transition, that change over to football. Well, let's talk about that for a little bit. How long did you play football?
I started football when like 16 years old. I played till I was like 24, 23, something like that.
So you played at the college level?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I mean, this seems to, that's one of the things that a lot of the bigger athletes, they get swayed, and they kind of, football is king in a lot of places, US in general, and what made you want to, try boxing per se, or did you have a little bit of history, or parents, or dad involved, or how did boxing come into the picture?
Uh, man, my homeboy, Cotton, he was boxing. I was like, bro, how you get into that? Like, you know what I mean? How you do it? So I was like, I wanted to do it too. So when I went to the gym he was at, and we was Coach Bubba gym. I went to the gym he was at, and that's how I really got started. I didn't really have no crazy story about it. Not a lot of background, not a lot of history with it. Just something I came into, and God blessed me enough to be great in it.
Okay. So, one thing is to go ahead and try a sport, go to a gym, hit the bag. When was it where, you thought, okay, you know what, like I can be pretty good at this? Like, when was there a particular moment that said, I need to focus on this, a little bit more?
Uh, Probably my first sparring session. Cause that first sparring session teach you a lot. We really won't even like know where I thought I could be good. Just like, oh, I got to get a lot better. I was getting touched up and sparring, and it was bad. So I was like, man, we gotta get better at this, or we ain't gonna be able to do this. You know what I mean? So
No, definitely. Hey, that's one of the things that this sport shows you right away. You said from the first sparring, that's usually where, you know, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan, everybody know what's going to happen, but as soon as you get hit, like
mhm.
that's when you really know, how you're going to react to it. Um, from going from that first sparring session to actually competing, like walk us through that. Was your first bout just like a local bout? How did that go? And what made you, come back to the gym?
My first bout was in North Carolina at the Carolina Gloves. I actually was a tournament.
Okay.
I fought two people, and it went real good. Shout out to them boys. But I mean, it was just something that when I got in there, it kind of felt lonely at first. You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to having nobody on the side of me. You know what I mean? When it's time to go to work, but it was just something that was like, sheesh, like it's serious. You know what I mean? And when they say it's a one man sport, you know what I mean. So we had to go in there and put on the show. We did that.
Okay, okay. What did you kind of learn from yourself, or your goals in that sport after going through a competition, competing against somebody who's also training, also wants to win, also wants to do the things that you're looking to do, but what did you learn from that experience, and the come back and compete some more?
Oh, it was a real good experience because I got hit with my first really not my first but like a real hard shot in a fight. You know what I mean? I got a real hard shot and it's kind of stung me a little bit. So it was like no, it kind of nothing, but it kind of just stung me to point out okay, we gotta go work on our defense. You know, we gotta go get better at this. You know what I'm saying? So that's I'm big on that anyway. Defense, defense, defense. You know, I'm that type of guy. So
Okay, okay, definitely. And um, playing a sport like like football, where uh footwork seems to be important. You got to be in the right position and all that. How did some of your football skills translate into boxing? Is did you get some challenges? Were there some things that were easier, or like how did that experience translate to boxing?
I mean, I always say I got $1 million feet. So that really what came into it. You know what I mean? I always had $1 million feet since I played ball. So that really what came down to it, and just picking up on it then from that. I mean, I've been strong, but strength don't got really nothing to do with boxing. Because you get hit by somebody who don't got a lot of power or a lot of strength and still get hurt. But my feet, that's really what it pay the bills.
$1 million feet. I like that. You gotta put that in a shirt or something. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
nice. And um, before I was looking at your bouts. Before I get into that, if somebody hasn't seen you compete, in the ring, which with 14 bouts, maybe not everybody has seen you compete yet.
Yeah.
How would you describe your boxing style? What are you trying to do when you get in the ring?
Fundamentally down. Like my coach always said, we never going there looking for the knockout, but we want if it come, it come. We gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? But fundamentally down. We trying to establish the jab first. Get on. Get a good rhythm going, and just keep touching them. Until it's time to get them going.
Man, I'm really liking what I'm hearing, because when you start saying words like fundamentals and using the jab and things like
Yeah.
those, that's key. And one of the things that I've noticed just covering the sport for so many years is how critical that finding that right coach, right? Because
hmm
I've seen a lot of kids, a lot of that have a lot of potential, but you got to be in the right environment. So tell me a little bit about that. Who's coaching you? Who has been coaching you? And how has that relationship helped you continue evolving in the sport that requires a lot from you?
My coaches are, they'll say Barnwell, Rendell, Johnson. But I mean, I had a lot of coaches. I had Sean Meeks. I had Coach Mike Daniels. Those guys helped me too. I came a long way. Mustafa helped me a lot. That's just a couple of guys I got a name just because of this respect. They helped me a lot. But like we come like Dorset and stuff like that, he like a big brother. You know what I'm saying? Like he always keep me humble, keep me staying down, make sure I'm always working on the little things. We don't never go past the little things, you know what I'm saying? All just the turns and the jab and how you throwing your jab, how you throwing your two, little stuff like that. And then Rendell, he just for the full automatic technician. Like everything gotta be crisp with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And one of the things, because we had the signing. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But during that whole kind of unveiling about joining DB3, there was an interview that was conducted by the local station out there, and Coach Dorset was in there. He was talking, and he mentioned something that really does stand out when I see amateur boxers, and I want to see how they're doing, especially at the national level. Is comfort,
Yeah.
is being comfortable in there, knowing that all this stuff is coming at you. You got another, especially at the super heavyweight division, you got a lot of big bombs coming at you, but staying calm, able to execute what you're working on.
hmm
Where does that come from? Is that come from football? Did how did you develop that comfort level that takes years to hone?
Oh, I mean, like I told you, I really, and I mean it when I said I want to be like the biggest in the world. So I feel like you got to grow. If you want to be the biggest, you can't be scared of the lights. I'm trying to put on the show, and the lights come on. So that's how I feel. I'm
Okay.
all about the lights.
There you go. There you go. And you know, one thing is when you see buildups to the bouts, you see boxers doing real good in the mitts or looking real kind of flashy outside of the ring. How do you stay kind of mentally prepared, right before you go into the ring to be able to execute all that stuff? Because everybody looks good in the bag, doing training, all that stuff, but you got to put that all together come fight night. So how
Yeah.
do you get mentally prepared? Getting your hands wrapped. How are you getting ready?
Um, like you said, everybody look good on the bag. Or the mix. So I don't really pay too much attention to that. I respect every opponent I get in there with, but it just know I gotta, I want to be a winner. I like to win. So it really don't matter who I'm getting there with, what time it is. It's time to go. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. So that's really how I carry it. That's how I think when I'm like getting my hand wrapped and stuff like that. You know.
Definitely. Most definitely. And let's go back to 24 last year.
Yeah.
You had an excellent year, right? You competed. At least when I just quickly looked at it before I jumped on, you competed at the Junior Olympics
Mhm.
out in Kansas, and then you competed at the national championships as well. You went undefeated.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I ask boxers when they go to these national tournaments, because you're competing against the best boxers in your weight division,
Yeah.
how walk us through that. Usually the first bout tends to be a little bit more hectic. You don't want to get the rust off or whatever, butterflies or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, just walk us through a tournament. How are you making sure that you're elevating bout to bout?
Oh well, as a heavyweight boxer, you don't really don't fight till like day 4, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, day 3. So really, both times I ain't fight till like Wednesday or Thursday, and just getting prepared. It's like I always say this: you gotta get in there and feel it. You know what I mean? I always had to say I gotta get in there and feel it. So really, that's how I really get prepared. Like, hey, I can bounce around on the outside, but that first punch in that first round of that fight or that first fight, that's like, yeah, now we're here. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the first tournament definitely was a little bit of jitters. I definitely was a little nervous. See, I was all over the place first round, but
Mhm.
after that, I was able to hone it in and get it right. But that's really how I get right. Being in there, going in there and doing it.
And just laying to go, huh? Now, was last year these first two tournaments, were those your first tournaments at the USA Boxing Nationals
Yes, sir.
tournament? Okay, so uh, I guess you already touched on it with jitters and all that stuff. What was Coach trying to tell you? Because it's a different level where you go in there,
Yeah,
you got 4 rings set up, you're in a
yeah.
stadium. What I mean? This is not a backyard, it's not a smoker or anything like that. Like, how was Coach kind of guiding you through those emotions?
Just telling me I could do it. That's what his big thing was, man. You been in there with some guys, you know what I'm saying, sparring. I done got in there with a lot of guys sparring, you know what I'm saying? So he had been there with some of the best. So he was like, you can do it, you know what I'm saying? These guys that on your level, stuff like that. Yeah, and just getting ready, and just like I said, more mentally on my side than his side, you know what I'm saying? He tells me stuff, but it's more mentally like you gotta be ready because it's me getting in the ring, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Most for sure. We're talking to Kelvin Watts out of Chesapeake, Virginia, but he's out in Colorado Springs right now. Uh,
Norfolk, Virginia.
there you go. Uh, in the midst of camp, just getting ready for Brazil. What I mean, at the end of the month, going up against some of the best international boxers. The last boxer who had this spot that you just earned, Joshua Edwards, which
Yeah,
was equally really real nice on his feet, speed,
yeah,
just a real solid boxer. Now doing his thing at the pro level. So boxers at your weight, even though it's super heavyweight, lately USA Boxing has produced boxers that are real mobile.
yeah.
You jab, mobile.
Mhm.
Let's go back to your championship bout
Yeah,
at the national championships in December against a big guy too,
yeah,
heavy puncher and Stephen Williams.
yeah,
He stopped boxers like KO, not RSCs. Like he
yeah, yeah,
stopped.
yeah,
He got
yeah,
that power in there, and going into the first round. When I told you about your feet, that shined through right away. I
yeah,
could see you were moving, jabbing. Just I'm sure your coach was telling you to keep doing that because it
yeah,
was working. But then on the second round, that size from Steven,
Yeah.
was a little bit more evident. He actually ended up touching you a couple
Yeah.
times, and one of them, I think you ended up going to your knees. So
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about that. Just going through the emotions of that bout. Kind of, I think you even had a 10-8 round
Yeah.
in the first, right?
Mhm.
One of the judges just gave you that round 10-8, and then going to the second and kind of feeling some of that adversity. Like, what was going through your mind to be able to come out, on the third round to secure the win?
Cause what happened with that? It wasn't like it was something that I did. You know what I'm saying? Not taking away from Steve or nothing like that, but it's something I did. I rolled and he kind of just pushed my head down. You know what I mean? I fell down like that. You know, when you get hit the back of the head, you kind
Right.
of go a little dizzy anyway.
Yep.
So when that happened, it was just get up and regroup. You know, I went back to the corner and they was like, "Oh, you good? Keep doing what you're doing. You ain't doing nothing wrong. And get back." And that's how I came back on the third round and was able to box.
Definitely. And have you had any other moments like that where you did get, touched a little bit more than you had wanted to?
Uh, Nah, not really, cause I don't like getting touched too much. You know what I mean? Oh, I said the defense big to me, cause I don't really like getting touched. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but I ain't had too many things like that.
Yeah. Especially in the second round, I think that I did notice too is that every time that he would have landed a punch,
Um,
you were like coming right back,
yeah, I was trying to get that back.
you could. It's evident watching you compete that you can box. If you wanted to,
Yeah.
you could be just moving around all day if you need to. But
Mhm.
as soon I saw that difference there, that as soon as you got he landed something, it's like, okay, no, I'm getting my get back. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
land something too. Where is that? Is that purposeful? Is that just kind of in the fight moment? Like, or are you making sure that, okay, he scored a point. I need to score a point. Like, what's going through your mind when you're deciding to go in there, even though you might be putting yourself,
At
giving your
risk.
opponent some openings. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. I want that back. You know what I'm saying? After something like that happened, I want it back. So I was just trying to go get it back. Really, go touch him again. That's it.
There you go. There you go. And
Right
then,
to that shit.
just going to the third round, you could definitely see that what coach was telling you, because you were training, but you were definitely boxing a lot more.
Yeah.
You were moving real good. Ended up coming out at the end. You heard your name. They
Yeah.
said that, from the blue corner. Like, how did that feel? Getting your hand raised and knowing that camp, the whole thing was worth it.
Yeah, I felt great. God good, man. That's what I said when I got the ring. God good, man. Cause we put it in every day. Put it in regardless of how we feeling. You know what I'm saying? I know people probably said that before, but it's real life. So, we put it in every day, regardless of how we feeling, and it just felt great to get that acknowledgement.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the boxers that we do have on are, they're dealing with, school or managing student athlete stuff, things that you kind of probably dealt with when you were
Yeah.
doing in your football for sure. But, you know, you're 26, right? You probably have a full-time job. Like, you got real adult duties and things that you got to do. Like, how is that? How is balancing that and making sure that you have to do what you got to do, but you also got to get in the gym, because this sport is selfish. Like, it
Yeah.
wants you in there like all the time.
Facts.
Like, how are you balancing that?
I mean, it's good now. Now I'm OTC. It's a little easier now. But I tell you, when I was doing it, man, it was hard. Because like you said, I want to work every day. I'm trying to live the right way, so I want to work every single day, day in and day out, regardless. Like I said, regardless of how I was feeling. But I had a lot of guys, man, who helped me. My big brothers, Corey, CJ, Floyd, Greg, Bless, them guys, love them boys to death because they help me get through it every day. Isaiah too, it help me get through it every day. So I love them boys to death, man.
Hey, there you go. It is just you, the boxer, in the ring, but there is a whole team behind you. I mean, and
Exactly.
literally, you have your corner right there, coach, and second right there, but sparring partners, teammates, whatever the case may be. It really does take a group effort to get that, stand at the podium at the end of a tournament like that. Uh, but there's got to be sometimes you kind of touched on it where it does get difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't want to get up and get those miles in, or whatever the case may be. How do you make sure that you're keeping yourself on track? what are you leaning on to make sure that you still keep going because you still got goals to reach?
Yeah. So like at work, when I was thinking about stuff like that, I go shadow box at work. Like hard too. I'm like
Yeah,
I'm shadow boxing hard at work. You know,
right,
them boy
right.
like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But that's really how I do it. I mean, I go and regardless of where I'm at, I go do it. Steel toes on, hard hat on, those are punches. You know what I'm saying? I just go get it. So
There you
that's
go.
really the answer.
I mean, where does that drive come from? I mean, sometimes, you probably heard stories of boxers that have all the talent in the world, but
Yeah.
if talent don't work, it's not there's not going to be no results at the end. Where do you get that that drive?
Uh, Well, if I can tell you, like, football, I was supposed to be like that guy, but I made a lot of dumb decisions. I did a lot of dumb things in my life, when it came to football and stuff like that, and just living outside of that, So that's really where it comes from. I don't want to lose again. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to be where I was at that point. Like I had a hard life, of course. We all been through something, but I'm cool on the south, so it's like that. But just losing in the football and not being without everything I was supposed to be in that make me go harder in this, you know.
Definitely. And yeah, like you said, everybody has some things that they kind of get, have to go through. But the point, as you're showing, is building off that, learning
Yeah,
off that, right? I mean, because you could also take it the wrong way and you get stuck,
yeah,
but you were able to kind of use that to catapult to where you're at now. I mean, you're at the OTC, like you said, kicking off the interview. That's where everybody wants to be at the amateur level, right? This is the
yeah,
pinnacle for USA. Uh, so we go to the end of the national championship, and just going to the finals secured you a spot for the selection camp, right? The
hmm,
way the USA Boxing now is, you don't necessarily have to win the tournament. As long as you make it to the finals, then both of the boxers that are in the finals then go to this selection camp to uh, depict the boxer that will present USA in the international level. So
yeah,
knowing that you were going to go to the OTC and compete for a spot, now that you had performed, how were you and coach like getting ready? Even though it was a quick turnaround, it was it was the beginning of January. Like, how were you getting ready? And then walk us through that whole process, because you're competing for a spot.
yeah, yeah. It was good. We did a lot of really we did the same thing that we did for the nationals. Worked out every day, stuff like that. We took a little break after national, of course, to get our legs back, but we did the small stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then getting up here and going through that process. It's good. You want to get the best in the world when you get up here. You know what I'm saying? You got Richard Torres up here.
Yeah,
And then like I said, Stephen Williams, you feel me? He's a guy. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So it's like you want to be at your best every day. You know what I mean? I really respect them guys and what they do in boxing. So I really wanted to put my best foot forward, and that's what I did. And we got it. We went at it every day. You know what I'm saying?
definitely. And uh, people can find the procedures online, but there's certain things that you're gonna have to hit. Certain amount of points that you have to
Yeah,
gain to be able to be selected. So when you first learned that after that 4-week camp that you were gonna be given that spot, how did you take it? Like, walk me through that moment, because now you are part of Team USA. You'll
yeah.
go down in the history books as part of the 2025 team and all that stuff. Like, did that, how did you take that?
I smiled. I go, but smile. You know what I'm saying? Smile hard. But I was very excited for that, man. We worked hard. Like I said, we worked hard for that. So I'm very excited for that. I was very thankful just to, be able to do it and be able just to be here. I was happy just to be here regardless. But I'm just happy I can go and compete against other guys. Every time you get in the ring, it's another level of experience you go up. So I'm very thankful that we can go in the ring and get better and get better and get better, grow, grow, grow. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like.
Perfect. And you're in the perfect sport for that, because
Mhm.
I don't there's no finished product in boxing. You can always get
Exactly.
better. You can always improve, be it offense, defense, whatever it may be. There's always learning and growth. That's why the sport in itself is so engaging, because it really doesn't really matter what you've done before. It's what you're going to do at that moment, and you got to
Yep.
prepare yourself execute. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Every time you do that. So you got the spot, you claim the spot, you're part of the high performance team, elite boxing team for Team USA, and then shortly after, right around that time, the announcement was made that you are now a part of DB3.
Yeah.
Obviously, Keyshawn doing big things for boxing
Right.
as a whole, but definitely for Virginia. Uh, how did that come about? 14 bouts, only 2 years in the amateur level. Like, how did you get their eyes on you?
Oh, we was they coaches like they Keyshawn them coaches, so they was like, you know, they like me, you know, but you know that ain't gonna make you sign nobody.
Right.
So but it was just like they like me, and they like the stuff I do, the way I box, stuff like that. But now they just want to see how I can get better. Like Keyshawn always in my ear telling me stuff, helping me. Kelvin always, Keon too. You know, me and Kelvin got like a better relationship because he like kind of went through the same thing I went through in life. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So just stuff like that. But we always talking, wrapping it up on the phone with them boys all the time. So
Definitely. And,
yeah,
we had Kelvin on too,
yeah,
or Keon, and you can always tell it's all business. Like this
yeah.
is,
That
it's kind of like Floyd back in the day. Like when it's time to work, it's time to work. You know what I mean? And
facts.
and now you're seeing the results. You got
Mhm.
world champions now, and
Yeah.
and having that backing, that name behind you, like first of all, that signing, what how does that impact your amateur career? Like, no, obviously we know that the pro game is definitely in the picture, but um, what are you still trying to gain from it, from the sport? Or, Olympics. Like, how does that come into the picture?
Yeah,
So
definitely
tell us
Olympics.
a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely Olympics. Experience first and foremost. We do want to experience, want to get in there with everybody. But Olympics, of course, we want to try to do that, of course. And just having the back of them by my knees, making want to go harder. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to let them boys down because they trust me enough. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to go harder every time I can go.
Yeah, definitely. And um, that's exactly kind of the answer that you would want to say is you don't want to let them down, right? Like
Yeah,
they put your name on you, and it's like it will make you go that much harder, and I think ultimately uh, benefit you in your development, right? Because you're going to be, you know, not only putting in that work, putting all that effort, but you're going to be going against some of the best boxers in the world. Like,
yeah,
people say that, but you're actually going to be doing that.
yeah,
You're going to go down to Brazil. USA Boxing announced that aside from the World Boxing Cup in Brazil at the end of the month, you guys are going to compete in the Czech Republic at the World
yeah,
Boxing Challenge in
mhm,
June. You
yeah,
then later in June at the end of the month, you're going to be in Kazakhstan, one
yeah,
of premier boxing amateur boxing home
yeah,
in the world. And in September, you guys are going to go all the way to England for the
yeah.
Boxing Elite Championship, the inaugural
Yes,
World
sir.
Boxing Elite. So, I mean, that's four big tournaments that can really help shape your 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 future in the amateur world. Just as like you said, the goals of Olympics, like this is where you really start building that confidence to be able to be over there. So how are you getting prepared? How is camp going? Like, how are you approaching this next year?
Oh, camp going great. Uh, getting my feet back under me. You know what I'm saying? A little fatigue right now, but we getting back day by day, taking it day by day. To see a better day. And how person next year? Really, just I mean, just taking it day by day. Really, I don't want to rush to world championships or no like that
Right.
or Kazakhstan and no like that because I like to just feel me march on. But of
There you
course, we ready for those things, and I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to go put on the show.
there you go. And definitely, not to overlook anything, uh, but it's things that you got to keep in front of you, right? And
Uh-huh.
that composure, that confidence that we see in you in the ring, those are the things that you're going to be leaning on to make sure that you're ready to go. In addition to taking the coaching from USA, the USA Boxing staff there,
Mhm.
and then when you get back, to your home coaches and all that stuff, uh, you know are you doing anything different, or how are you kind of, this is high pressure situations, right?
Yeah.
This is like where everybody wants to go. Like, how are you kind of making sure that those kind of instincts of pressure, maybe getting over about, how are you keeping that in check?
Uh, Pressure. I mean, I feel like that's what we want. You know what I'm saying? You want pressure. You know what I'm saying? Pressure bust pipes will make diamonds. So I don't really run from that. You know what I'm saying? But just like I said before, learning every day, trying to get extra work with coaches, trying to learn their style, what they want me to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a little different in the amateur in the international stage. So just trying to be a little faster. More punches, stuff like that.
There you go. There you go. Um, you know, one of the things with Colorado Springs, you got the altitude, like it's a whole different environment. Like, how different has training been to what you were typically used to with your home coaches? Like, has there been a big transition? Then obviously the altitude, but anything else that jumped out that you're getting used to or adapting to
Uh,
over
sele-
there?
Selection camp. It was hard because I ain't gonna lie, the altitude hit me when I first got up here, man. I ain't gonna lie, I was, woo-wee. But now I'm more adapted to it, so it's kind of easier now. And the training about the same, but well, I ain't gonna say the same because they want a lot of work on the bags and stuff like that. So at home you get to do a little more technique work and stuff like that. So you know things like that.
Okay, okay, definitely, definitely. Uh, as I start kind of getting my final questions here, uh, just boxing as a sport, sometimes it gets a bad name, right? You got people hitting other, and it's not part of the school system,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, what would you tell somebody that maybe is a little skeptic of the sport, that the kind of let them know that give it a shot. There's a lot more things that what you see. So how would you talk to a skeptic about maybe giving boxing a shot, as far as being involved, or just kind of supporting the sport as a whole?
I will always say, like I tell people all the time, boxing a hard sport, very hard sport. Gotta be respected. You gotta respect every man you get in there with. But it's one of the best sports because you get to really see who you are. You know what I'm saying? You gonna learn a lot about yourself in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that first small session, I would get in touch, and I learned like, hey, you ain't as much of a fighter as you thought you were. I done been in a million fights, man. You been in boxing, you feel me? Get all in your face. So like, you gonna learn who you are as a man or a woman, whatever. You gonna learn who you are. That was
and
about
and
it.
and kind of going off that specifically to you, like, what has boxing taught you about yourself? Because like you said, a lot of challenges, a lot of roadblocks, a lot of opportunities that kind of just stop with it. But you're here. So
Yeah.
what? Tell me a little bit about that.
What I learned about myself,
Yeah.
probably just I don't know everything. Like, I got a lot more to learn. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big kind of know it all sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And you learn in this sport, you don't know everything, man. You don't know half of what you think you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's really, you gotta respect the sport, respect anybody telling you something. You know what I'm saying? I listen to everybody. I don't care if they from 5 years old to you know what I'm saying, 40. I listen to everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, has it has it really dawned on you that the where you were maybe 2 3 years ago to where you're at now, like changing sports,
Hmm.
and going into the elite level, like right away? Is that just? It seems like you're taking it in stride and really kind of trying to learn and kind of savor the moment. But how would you describe this transition that where you're at now?
Uh, it's a great transition. Of course, it feels great to be here, but I just feel like I'm still that little guy. You know what I'm saying? Still learning, man. I don't feel like I'm bigger than nobody or nothing like that. I'm thankful that God placed me here, and I just want to glorify His name as much as I can in everything I do in all the sport.
There you go. There you go. Do you watch pro boxing? Do you watch boxing as a
Yes, sir.
general?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So some boxers that we interview, they prefer that, they don't watch it, or for
Yeah,
whatever reason. But you do. You watched the tank fight
yeah,
this
I
past
did.
weekend. Okay, was it a knock? Should there had been a knockdown, or not? What are your thoughts on that, man?
Uh, What you want? What thoughts you want to know? You want to know the whole like how I feel about the
Yeah,
fight
yeah. What
first?
do you
Oh,
feel
okay.
about that fight? And specifically, do you think
It was a
if they
knockdown.
would have taken a point, that would have made a difference? Like, what do you think of that whole thing? Because it was a
Oh,
great bout.
yeah, the thing about the knockdown though is Tank came out swinging though. You know, he ain't just get knocked down. And you know, people get knocked down, they don't be fighting. No, he came out punching. So it really would have still been a 10-9 round to me. Uh, but I do think Lamont Rose did his thing, man. I personally thought Lamont Rose won, but I can see why people feel like Tank won. You know what I'm saying? But it just was a beautiful fight, man. It was beautiful for the sport of boxing. I feel like you watch two high level class fighters getting in the ring, which I've been saying that because Lamont Roach has real skills as y'all seen.
Yep.
So you know, I just feel like it's perfect. I don't know if they gotta run it back, but if they do, I'll let her watch it again.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm glad that Lamont was able to get that stage and really show his skills because you know, for a while it seemed like, well, obviously he was being overlooked. One of the storylines going into the bout was, just that he's not in the level or whatever it is. Well, you prove him right. Like he
Yeah,
what's up. So
yeah, I love
I'm
that.
glad. I hope they do it again, but I think maybe not. I mean, I guess we'll see. This is sport of boxing, but you know. Having that stage and that those type of things that you can look forward into going into the pro ranks, you know, the Turkish, I forget
Um,
the Turkey.
Turkey, I
Yeah,
see ya.
he's. I mean, he just created like a boxing league this week or
Yeah,
something. Like it's a lot of things happening in the pro ranks uh, that you could definitely be a part of. So obviously, right now the focus is in fine tuning the amateur skills. But have you
yeah.
been, sparring with pros, kind of looking at the differences from the pro game to the amateur game? Have you started to kind of see what kind of transition, what kind of things you're going to have to really develop to have success at that level?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's a lot more thinking. You know, a lot more movement. Well, not a lot more movement, but a lot more smarter, critical movement. You know what I mean? More accurate shots, stuff like that. So yeah, I watch a lot of pros. I watch a lot of boxing. Period. Just because I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? I want to really be a student of the game. So getting in there with guys like Richard Torres and things like that, it help you get to see where you at. You know what I'm saying? And it's you learn his levels.
Yeah, definitely. That's always key. There's levels to the sport, and but there's just so many things that the sport as a whole uh, is very positive. A lot of people that put their time and everything to it. That's why we love the sport, right? Because you never all the storylines that go through this.
Yeah.
So as I start kind of just winding down here, you know, there's been a lot of like influencer boxing right out there, Jake
Yeah.
Paul and all this stuff. Any thoughts on kind of that like subgenre of boxing that didn't really exist, before? So do you think it's positive, negative? Like what are your thoughts?
I think it's uh I ain't like that Mike Tyson. That made me mad because I'm a big fan of Mike. I ain't like the way Jake was hitting Mike.
Yeah.
And that really made me mad. I ain't gonna lie. If I see Jake, boy, you got something coming. But I mean, I like it to a certain extent, of course. But it's all to make money. So if people making money, make them happy. You know.
Yeah, and that they do, and the one thing that I would say about Jake that even there's a ton of things that I probably not like very much, he does tend to give back.
Yeah.
Just unveil he's doing like gyms in different locations, uh,
Yeah.
you know, giving back to giving the opportunity to the next generation of boxers, which is always great. It's always welcome. I hope more pros would kind of do some of that stuff. So definitely give him his props in that regard. Uh, two last questions. One is, when you go through a whole training camp and you go through the tournament and you're, you know, for whatever reason you didn't get that decision. How do you deal with those setbacks? At about at whichever level, nobody wants to lose, right? That's just
Yeah.
kind of the nature of it. But when that does happen, how do you make sure that you're getting the right things from it to make sure you're ready for the next one?
Well, I learned from my coach in high school, Coach Lance. He taught me how to not how to lose, but like how to take it. You know what I'm saying? How to pause. How to just not just dwell on what's going on. Try to like always grow and learn from. So I really would just go back and watch film, see what I did wrong, and just be ready to get right back into work. And just grow from it. That's it.
There you go. There you go. I mean, you strike me like a person that has a lot of knowledge and is still wanting to learn even
Yeah, a
more
lot,
because you understand that there's still growth to be made.
a lot
I
to
mean,
learn.
you seem like an excellent candidate for a coach. Are we going to see Coach Cal in the future? Like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
definitely. After my career, definitely. Maybe
There you go.
boxing or football. I don't know, but
Hey,
I definitely
hey,
want to coach some kids.
there you go. There you go. And, just having that mentorship of somebody who's been in there and done it, uh, and not only that, you you're winning. I mean, you're
Yeah.
achieving things. It's uh, people, especially young kids, are going to start seeing you as a role model. They're probably already coming up to you, for things like that. Like, uh, how are you kind of you know, dealing with that as well, and being able that you're, comporting yourself as a good athlete, a person to follow, and doing all that. Is that something that you kind of have in the back of your mind, and to make sure that you are, you know, treating yourself as a professional athlete, essentially?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, the kids come up, and stuff like that. I don't really like. I always say this. I don't really see myself as nobody big, or doing nothing big. I just see myself as just boxing. So I try to just, whatever they want, I give them what they want and stuff like that. I mean, they ain't been crazy yet, so we'll see. I don't really got some of the answers for you on that one, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you know what? I'm pretty sure that you'll be taking a good approach to that. It seems like the um, I'll give the credit to boxing, but I'm sure football had to play a big role
Yeah.
as to your discipline, your
Hmm.
approach, your coachability. Being able to receive critique and information, and be able to convert that into your performance,
Yes,
and be
sir.
able to learn that way, which is it's critical in every sport. It's almost even more so in boxing, because
Boxing.
this is a combat sport. You're gonna, if you're not training right, it's gonna show up. It's gonna show
Telling
up right away. So,
you.
uh, through your experience these past 2 years in the sport, uh, what would there be something that you would change to make the sport better? That you've seen from your experience that you had so far with the sport, would there be anything, or that you would improve for the sport as a whole?
Um, just for guys that know how how big like resting and recovery is. People try to kill themselves, when it comes to this sport. Like, and I get it. You want it. You feel me? You want to be great, but you gotta remember your body is a temple. Your body is a machine. You have to put the right oil in it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta learn how to pull it back a little bit, then go. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I say. Like, just everybody just gotta learn how to relax and make sure you're doing everything to make sure your body and every piece is right, because it will break down on you if you don't treat it right.
Ooh, that is excellent, excellent advice, because you go to any gym across the country, and you see that hunger, right? And the way that people, boxers in particular, show that is by going harder or
Yeah.
going more rounds. You see the post, I just went 20 rounds or whatever, but
Yeah.
that will catch up with you. You've seen burnout. Burnout
Yeah.
is a real thing. Had a boxer from Illinois that got to that level that you're at, but then didn't feel anymore and just stopped. And it
Yeah.
happens. And
Mhm.
is that something that you kind of keep in your back of your mind, as far as being able to uh, juggle the demand that boxing requires from you, but also stepping back and saying, okay, I gotta recover a little bit and step back.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. I definitely got that in the back of my mind. That's why I say when it's time to work, we're working. But when it's time to relax, you gotta sit down for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing. I know people probably think, "Hey, that's crazy," but I know how my body works. You feel me?
Definitely, definitely. One of the things that I noticed when I posted that we are going to have you on here as the guest, I saw people sharing, or stories or whatever, or just sending you positive message and stuff. So, how does it feel having having that support out there. People want to see you win. How does it
Yeah.
feel just having that in just a short span in the sport, in particular boxing that we're talking about? But how does it feel having that support behind you?
Oh, I feel great, man. I feel great. See all the love, everything going on, man. I love everybody to death. It warmed my heart though. Not to get too sentimental, but it warmed my heart to see it because this is somebody I always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I see it coming. And I just want to keep staying down for the come up.
There you go. There you go. I mean, you make it hard not to want to cheer for you, man.
Yeah,
I think you do have a good, head over your shoulders, which is critical in a sport that sometimes is not so transparent as to what's happening, right? Especially the pro game. That's a whole different world, than amateur boxing. But the amateur boxing does have its obstacles, right? And things that you kind of have to overcome. But as we wrap up here, go ahead and give out, thank yous, shout outs to people that have, helped you get to where you're at so far.
yeah. I want to thank you first, all the mom dudes and my sister. Love y'all to death. My niece, and my nephew, love y'all to death. Shout out to Coach Dorsett, Coach Randall, of course, Coach Mike, Coach Sean, Coach Mustafa, everybody at OTC who helping me. Um, you know, anybody and all my guys I work with. Y'all guys mean to be the word. I'm gonna name them off: CJ, Greg, Floyd, Bless, Isaiah. Those my guys, man. Y'all got me through a lot of tough times. Just with laughs. Not even nothing y'all did for me. Just with laughs. We always laughing, joking. So I would thank all of y'all and thank you, Mr. Three Rounds.
Hey,
For having me on here.
I appreciate it. No, most definitely. It's the platform, the effort has always been focusing on the boxers. This is a sport that, like I said, is not part of the school system.
Mhm.
You go. It demands a lot from you. Training camp, you missing, social events in the weekend. You can't go. You got to make weights.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to wake up at 4 a.m. to run before you go to work for 10 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Like it's too much work that's being put in that it should never go unnoticed, and
yeah,
that's essentially the effort that we're putting together here. So I mean, when we talk to a lot of boxers, especially a lot of young boxers, and they have hopes of going to the Olympics, and for you, it's literally within reach, right?
yes, sir.
It's you're in the right position at the right time as we work the 28. Earlier this week or last week, World Boxing got the provisional recognition, so
Yeah.
there is a pathway for
Hmm.
for for all that to happen. So, you know, just we'll go ahead and touch base at the end of the year or whatever, after you win 4 medals and then
Yes, sir.
do all that stuff. So we'll definitely be looking out for you at 198. Like you said, your predecessor Joshua Edwards did excellent at your time, at his time.
Yeah,
Richard Torres before that.
yeah,
All of them, if you think about all, including yourself, very mobile,
yeah.
fast. So
Hmm.
we expect to see that and make that happen. So with that being said, that's all I got for you. I do
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it. Is it the 31st of March, World Boxing Cup in Brazil? We're going to see you competing there. And then, that's going to be the start of a busy year for you. And that's all we got. You're Team USA. You're right what you want to be. You have a
Yes, sir.
great approach. So wish you all the best of luck. And again, we'll touch base and we'll see what's going on when you're getting ready for the pros, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Hey, there
again.
you go. You have a good evening, everybody. This was 3 Round Slide number 206. Kelvin Watts, Chesapeake, Virginia, the #1 boxer at 198 plus. That's it. 3 Round
Norfolk,
Slide.
Virginia, man.
There you go.
Norfolk,
Norfolk.
Virginia.
Norfolk. There we go. Norfolk. Gotta get it
All
right.
right.
Gotta get it right. All right. You guys have a good evening. Take it
All
easy.
right. Good night.